I just want to do a quick recap on one data type, and that's arrays, because we're going to be going into that in our next practical. So best to pay attention to this. As always, I couldn't help but just use some of the previous stuff we've been using with changing the inner HTML and using a button to run a function. So I've just created this here. Basically, I've just created a button, and when it's clicked, it runs the function show, and that basically takes this variable, and with the ID show, which is in the paragraph here, I'm then changing the inner HTML to whatever this variable is. So it's nothing that flashy. I just want to create these things just to always give you a bit of revision on what we're doing. So here we have an array. Essentially, an array is a data type that can store lots of data within it, which is really helpful. And we can store loads of different data types. So we can store numbers. We can also store strings. We can store booleans, so true or false. We can even store more arrays. So these are just some of the things that we can store. So if I click show now, you see that it will happily output all of this stuff. So an array essentially keeps things in order as well. So this is the first element in, this is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then this whole list is the seventh. This one would be the first within the seventh, if that makes any sense. But basically what I wanted to remind you of in this lecture is that an array is a very powerful data type. It can store a range of other data types within it, and it keeps things in a specific order. So that's all I really wanted to show you. What I suggest you do is just create a basic HTML and a JavaScript like I've done here, and just output a few arrays and just play around with what you can add into the arrays. You just have to use the square brackets. So if I just remove all this gobbledygook. So in our variable, we call our variable whatever we want, equals to, and then this square bracket. So the square bracket right now just means it's an empty array. However, we can start adding things to it. We just need to separate each object with a comma. And then click show, and everything looks good. So that's the basics of an array. So have a go at creating it for yourself. In the next lecture, we're just going to be going a bit more into detail into how we can access just one element or one object at a time from the array, and also a few built-in functions that JavaScript offer to make it easier for us to work with arrays. So like I say, have a go at creating a few arrays by yourself now, and then when you're ready, I'll see you in the next lecture.